Hello, and welcome to the Library Hall. I'm your host, Cedar Dunn. I'm so glad you're with me today for this episode of Library Hall. Please do subscribe so you know when a new episode is released. And let's get straight into the hall. Okay, what is it today? Very excited. What's it going to be? All right, so first up, oh yes. Hello, Beautiful. Okay, so this book by Ann Napolitano um, has gotten a lot of attention. It was in Oprah's book club. I saw it listed on Amazon as like one of the number one books in 2023. So I'm totally behind the game ball here. That's a phrase. And everyone else has read this literally. So I'm reading it next. And I'm excited to see what all the fuss is about and to talk about it. Beautiful cover, by the way. And I haven't even really I read a little bit about this. William Waters grew up in a house silenced by tragedy where his parents could hardly bear to look at him, much less love him. So when he met the spirited and ambitious Julie Padavano in his freshman year of college, it's as if the world has lit up around him. But then something happens and darkness jeopardizes everything. So, all right, looking forward to checking this out and seeing why it is so popular and so beloved. That's always fun. All right, next up is Buy This, Not That. The Financial Samurai by Sam Dogan. And I think that I saw this guy on a podcast and I liked what he was talking about. He was talking about financial freedom. So I'm curious to read this book, and it says how to spend your way to wealth and freedom. So there we have it. So I will report back and see how Buy This, Not That is. The next book in this week's haul is, wow, it's a heavy one. The Smithsonian Zoology, Inside the Secret World of Animals. Okay, so this, first of all, the cover just immediately, like, look at those ears. Like, I mean, adorable. So I love checking out books like this. I mean, it's very, I don't know. I love, like, let's learn about animals and the secret world of animals. So this is fun. And look, birds, bats. I like perusing these kind of big coffee table books. It's fun to check them out and then decide if you want to buy them at that point. So I'm excited to just look through this. I love animals, of course, and I love learning interesting things about animals. So that'll be fun. Zoology. And the final book this week in the library hall is Lady in Waiting. My Extraordinary Life in the Shadow of the Crown. This is by Anne Glenconner. So Rupert Everett says he couldn't put it down. Funny and touching, like looking through a keyhole at a lost world. This is interesting. I'm not like super, I'm not, I watched The Crown a little bit, that first season. I'm not like what do they call them when you're really into the English culture? Well, I'm not really one of those, but I do think this is kind of interesting. We'll see. She has spent her life as a friend of the royal family, serving as a maid of honor at Queen Elizabeth II's coronation and a lady in waiting to Princess Margaret until her death in 2002. Now, Princess Margaret is an interesting character to me. She was very interesting in The Crown. So this will be, we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to see if I get into it, and I will report back to you. All right, that is the haul this week. Woo, I'm warm. Anybody else feeling hot flashy? So I hope you stay with me, and the older and wiser me will join us in just a moment and let you know what she thought of these books. All right, see you soon. And here I am to talk about the books in this week's library haul. So the first book is Hello, Beautiful, and I absolutely loved this book. So I see why it is so popular. This is one of those novels that you don't want to put down. It totally absorbs you. You remember it as if they're like characters you're friends with. Absolutely wonderful book. 100% recommend it. Definitely like tears tears of, there's crying involved, at least if you're me. And I just thought it was so wonderful. So Hello Beautiful, absolutely recommend. And probably you've already read it, but if you haven't, you should check it out. All right, next up is Buy This, Not That. This book is such a big book, and I actually learned a lot reading this. He had a lot of great investment advice and real estate advice and advice if you're starting your own company and all different kinds of things. I also think this would be a great book to give to a younger person if they're just starting out in their career. Definitely a lot of very aspirational, inspirational advice around earning money, saving money, what your goals are. But what I really liked was that it's not just about making money, right? It's about having a life that you enjoy, spending time with the people you love. So he's definitely clear on what's actually important in life. But I think it's a great resource if you want to learn more and have like a bigger view on his whole investment and savings and all the different things he talks about. So I would recommend this book. All right, next up was kind of a surprising book to me, Lady in Waiting. I actually ended up really loving this book. Anne Glenconner, she was the lady in waiting to the queen. And she was well, maybe I'm not saying that right. She was the lady in waiting to Margaret, I think, actually, the queen's sister. But she was one of the young women that held the queen's, was part of the whole ceremony when the queen became queen. So, she's been around a while. And fascinating, really a fascinating autobiography and look into this woman's life. Like, she married the craziest guy. I mean, really, like, such an eccentric rich guy. And they ended up creating this island that is very famous and people still go to now. And it was just a very interesting, it's called Mustique. And I Googled her and I found an article that was from maybe the 80s, but it showed pictures of her and her husband on the island where all these royalty went, but also like Mick Jagger and all these like rich people, and very bohemian, and just a fascinating story. So I would highly recommend. I thought she was really forthcoming and honest, and she had some real struggles in her life. She lost a son and she battled to keep another son alive, which she did, which is another amazing story. So I just think it was just full of really neat stories, and it definitely was a view into a life that you're really not going to normally, I think, have a view into. So I just love that she actually wrote the book and she shared all of it with us because it was definitely a fascinating story. Okay, and finally, zoology. So I accidentally returned this book before I was able to film this show, but I loved this book. The photography is beautiful. All the details about the animals are so interesting. There's lots of neat facts that are very unusual that I didn't know about, and mostly the pictures so beautiful. So if you are a big fan of animals, or I even think like this would be a beautiful book, a present type of a book for a younger person in your life that loves animals and is curious about all things animals, I would definitely recommend this book for them. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching the show today. I hope maybe you found a book that you are interested in and you want to either check it out or buy it. You can find all the links to the books in the description of this video. And please subscribe and like. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time on the Library Hall. Hey there! If you liked this video, please click the like button and subscribe to our channel. To support us, please use the links in the video description or at libraryhall.com to purchase the featured books. Thanks for watching!